All right, got the green light. An excellent connection. All right, just at the chat, ready to go. How's everyone doing out there? We got 3 viewers right now. That's fine. We're gonna be moving it up today. Again, like the normal traditional stock chat, stock market talks on what we're going to be doing today. It's going to be talking about different various charts, some earnings coming out this week, some particular sections that we want to look at, and then particular looking at some of the individuals who are joining via the live chat to add comments regarding their positions, regarding potentially adding looking at their particular stocks and doing some technical analysis via the viewers' suggestions, and then just having a really good time on enjoying each other's company, viewing some awesome stocks, looking at some potentially great trades, and potentially looking at a look back of what has happened this past week. It's been one crazy week for sure, with some crazy downs and then really a strong rebound. Ryan, what's up there? Ali, Brew, what's up? How you going? Let's go. Let's get it. Yes. We got some people coming in here. Thomas, hey, how you doing, Thomas? Money printer go brrr. Yeah, we'll the Wesley, hey, what's up? Ryan, appreciate you guys that are all coming out. If you just missed the first 30 seconds that I kind of just ranted about, again, you guys have been here before. You know how we kind of do it. We kind of just run through some charts, talk about some things, talk about some suggestions, look at some long, short positions depending on how the market goes. Maybe do a kind of a recap of what kind of happened in the past and so forth. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start showing some charts here. While everyone gets really comfortable, everyone has a favorite drink or beverage or coffee or whatsoever. I'm drinking water and some hot tea. All right, that should be seeing my charts there now. All right. First time. Okay, well, welcome. So basically what we kind of discussed about, if you don't know my trading style or my investing style, is I'm pretty heavily technically of charts and things like that. And I do about 20 to 25% of my analysis is fundamental, because you kind of need to know what's going on in the outside world. I'm not a pure chartist, and I don't believe the charts tell you everything. It's more of an art form than a scientific notations or a scientific view of the market. So that being said, let's go ahead and just jump into the futures. Again, if you're not familiar, futures markets open up at 6 Eastern on Sunday, and they are off to a nice little pop start. They're up about 0.87%. That's pretty substantial, honestly. This again could be to the overall somewhat better news with the outbreak and then the virus and the pandemic stuff, and then the also with the potential deal with China. That's kind of been up in the air in the sense of what could happen, what's going on, and I think people are turning a little bit more optimistic. And again, you still have those individuals. Again, I'm kind of on both camps of just trying to understand on the economy is just not going to magically turn back on, right? So it's just not going to go back to 100%. I think it's going to be in the phases like we see happening throughout many states on to seeing on what's potentially can come from. But that being said, looking here on the daily chart, we are seeing a lot of consolidation. So this kind of we can kind of show this on SPY actually. Let's go jump to SPY, kind of give you a better, clearer view of what we could be looking at here. So I'm going to give you the bull and bear case. Basically, the bull case is we continue to print higher tomorrow, next week, or so forth to try to break this 294 to 295 level. So this is actually like a fib retracement up here. This level of 295 Excuse me. And then the 200 exponential moving average has been kind of a damper on a lot of these bull pushes. That being said, the parabolic SAR, which is these little purple dots up here, have not rotated to the bottom yet. So this kind of still means potential or downward pressure. But again, there is some momentum coming in, as you can see in the futures market and even the close of Friday, because we closed above the 21 and even actually closed above the 8 and the 5 exponential moving average, which is still indicating really strong momentum push. That being said, for the bear case, we kind of need to see it kind of break below the 21. This right here I believe that was Wednesday, I was kind of scratching my head. I'm like, I don't want to go full bear mode because you just don't know about the Fed. And I forget who it was. Sanchez was talking about the money printer on how the Fed is buying ETFs and holding up the market to the lack of a better extent. And you can kind of see that we had a huge downwind even onto Thursday, but one heck of a reversal to come all the way up with super strength. And this is really shown in the momentum down here in the squeeze. Potentially looking for the momentum to continue, again, for the bull case to hit the 295 level this week, potentially. And then for the bear case, again, the 5 and 8 exponential moving average need to come lower and start crossing into the 21. They are coming lower to the extent of by measurement, so they're getting closer to the 21, but again, this could be a spool up for a potential kick higher. But that being said, if it starts breaking below 21, we start getting close below 21, and we start seeing some more downward pressure, basically looking at anywhere downward movement from 283 or lower down to 280 for potential short side of things. Looks like a lot of people are joining. I appreciate that, guys. If you guys can hear me okay and everything, just please hit the like button if everything's 5x5 out there. I really appreciate it. And then I kind of give you an overview. Does anyone have any questions regarding the overall market as we see within just looking at SPY? Potentially understanding the bull case and then the bear case on the chart side of things. Again, there could be any kind of news as well that could literally jump into the market and bring it up or down either way. But those are the things that we just can't talk or get into because those are unknown. And as everyone may know as well, is I don't have a crystal ball. I don't think you guys have a crystal ball. Anyone has a crystal ball in the market. Okay, let's start looking at some charts here then. Let's go looking at some fun charts. We have a couple great earnings coming out this week too. We can kind of go through that, like some big ones. I don't know if I have any NAT holders out there, that the oil transportation / storage stock. I got a lot of flack on that when I made a video that I shorted it due to FOMO, and I'm out of it. But they have earnings come Monday. But I was kind of making, and I want to make an update video most likely tomorrow after earnings come out I'm not going to say it's going to go short, but it's like I kind of say I told you so. I think the FOMO bubble has popped in that. All right, let me scroll back up. A lot in the chat. A lot in the chat here. Apple acquisition of VR. They're buying VR. What are they buying in VR, Sanchez? I love VR. I think it's awesome because they already have some great AR stuff with the iPad and their LiDAR sensor. Blackhawk saying Uber is expecting to have more layoffs this week. Really? That's interesting. I didn't know that. Malone Money Mindset, thank you for joining, my friend. That's Anthony. He's a wonderful individual. I love watching his DraftKings stuff because I actually know jack squat about sports, and he does a deep dive on his Robinhood portfolio, discussing about in depth the fundamental analysis within each of his holdings, and he does a very robust, significant, in-depth chart or in-depth breakdown of those companies. So thank you for joining, my friend. Yeah, I'm glad to see the futures up as well. All right, so let's go here. I'm just gonna start scanning through here. The chat's kind of scrolling through really fast. BA Dan says BA stock. So yes, we had an initial short position on this. We kind of got rid of it. We shorted it once it hit to the 21 here, and then starts coming back down. So BA is still printing lower here on the daily chart here. As you can see, it's still significantly below the 21, and you can see clearly on the chart pattern that it is pointing still down south. It's not straightening, it's not a steady eddy, and it's not a flying Sally. It's just a terrible heading to the south there. That it's below 21. There is looking, the momentum's trying to slow it down. This is the overall downward movement, but again, this is going to be a huge question mark in the sense of the economic platform of like, okay, are airlines going to need new planes if not many people are going to be traveling? Are they going to actually get any orders coming through? Yes, I understand they're backlogged, and 50% of their business is actually via the military, but the perception on everyone on Main Street and Wall Street is that they make those planes, and there's not going to be much traveling going on with no traveling with planes. That being said, BA, it's got to prove it to me first. It's got to break above the 21 and close above it. And a lot of these, the momentum needs to go up. The volume needs to kind of kick in. And same with the RSI. I think this could easily continue to glide and slide lower to around like 110. But again, anything can happen. Would be where I would want to get in if I wanted to, because there's kind of been a gap here on those couple jumps. We kind of filled this gap here already with all this momentum here, but there's another gap here basically around 115. We could potentially see that, so I'm actually going to put an indicator there down below to see if we can break below that and see where it goes from there. So that hopefully that answers your question there, Dan. As many more states open back up, will that be good for SPY? Yes, I believe so. I think more people that open up, and I think more people start getting comfortable going out and about and spending money. I think it's going to be a good case, I believe. Also from Blackhawk saying WNT, it's Walmart. Yes, we actually have a position in Walmart, and I'm bullish on it. That's my opinion. I'm bullish on Walmart. I think any of these huge retailers like Costco, Walmart, Target's reporting this week. Home Depot's reporting this week as well. It's going to be really strong moves, and it's really going to give a huge sentiment to the market overall of how the consumer's spending. So with Walmart, I'm going to draw. It's kind of been beaten up, and we actually picked it up here on this is the 34, the orange line. So I kind of cleaned up my charts here a little bit. So this is the 34 exponential moving average, and this is starting to all look at that beautiful crossing of moving averages if you've ever seen it before. This can go gangbusters, like gangbusters meaning it's going to go to 130 potentially with earnings. We're going to look at what the earnings plus or minus could be, or it can just fall out of the sky like a rock. But my bet is I am doing via some selling of some puts and some in the money calls, looking at potential move higher. My initial move is probably to the top here of 130. Let me look at what the earnings are for this week, which is plus or minus $7. And I believe when I entered the trade, I thought I was going to easily hit $30. So it's initially I'm targeting for 130 for Walmart if it's a good, and if it's bad, we're going to look basically below 120, potentially adding to the position and selling some more puts in that if needed be. So that's basically my breakdown in Walmart. Okay, this chat's going too fast, guys. You guys are flying. Ryan says JCP. Ugh, poor JCPenney. Who hit that like button if you can remember looking at the JCPenney's Christmas catalog with all the toys, having like 60-70 pages of beautiful colored toys from prints from the different like Legos to action figures to whatever was hot that year. It was just, oh, it was lovely. I miss those days. Beautiful times. Anyways, but JCPenney, not very beautiful. Not very beautiful at all. They think they completely did declare bankruptcy, I think so. On Friday or something like that, where they were able to make 1 out of 2 of their payments to interest debts. And I think they made like a $17 million interest payment, but they couldn't make a $14 or $13 million one, I believe what I read. But that being said, on the chart, it's just been beaten up. It has not broken above the 200. I wouldn't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. This is literally a 14-cent stock. No pun. I don't want to touch it. How about REITs? Redfin. REITs, I don't know too much about REITs, to be quite honest, my friend. I'm not really well versed within the real estate, but with Redfin and like Zillow, so where I live, I got so many emails of notifications of new houses in the area that are going on the market. I know that this time of year in the spring is usually the time where a lot of people put their house up for sale, but it just seems like it was just a lot the last 2 or 3 weeks. I think if you can give me, Vincent, some more insight to that, I think you could explain that better than I can, but I think in the springtime a lot of people will try to put their house for sale. Grubhub getting bought by Uber. I think so. I don't know if that was finalized. I don't know if they rejected the deal for that. Did you touch on Buffett selling out of the bank? Yeah, I did not talk about that. I'm actually working on basically 2 videos that are going to be coming out potentially tomorrow or the next day. Is Buffett getting out all the bank stocks, and then my overall understanding of NAT stock. Love Walmart call for this week. Yes, I agree. I'm long Walmart this week as well, and maybe longer. Buffett is an OG. Yes, he is. Buffett's an interesting guy for sure. Yeah, Apple just acquired NextVR. NextVR, is that company that's based in Florida? I can't remember that one. Or is that the one that Google owns? There's a huge VR like AR company that's in Florida. What does the future mean? What does future mean in new? So the future market is just basically how do I explain the futures? Futures are basically, these are just traded. They're highly liquid, very fast moving depending on where you go, but it takes a lot of capital to do some futures trading. Basically, they're open from 6 p.m. on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time, and they don't close until, I believe, 4 o'clock or 4:15 the following day, and it's only closed for 15 minutes, and then they continue to open back up until Friday at 4:15 p.m. that day. So it's basically a way to continuously trade. It's like almost a 24/7 a view in the market. I'm sorry if I'm not going really slow. Looking for Apple bankruptcy, AAL bankruptcy, Cam. Probably. Let's see. AAL, that's American Airline, isn't it? I don't know if they're going bankrupt, but it doesn't look good. they are drifting substantially lower. If you just watch my video, I just did a video about Zoom, comparing Zoom's market cap to all the airline companies, basically. And then I just did a video Thursday, I believe, on the overall section of the airline sections. That being said, they're just beaten up. Like, I don't know, again, the fundamental and looking at their EBITDA and their revenue and things like that, but they just took a lot of money from the government, and I think the way I read it is they're going to need more in the next couple months, even sooner potentially, to see, because the way they're trying to run the airlines is just going to take so much time for them to rebound. Airlines are being used for cargo. That makes sense. Just take all the seats out, and now you can just fly all the Amazon and boxes around that are all being everyone's buying up. Sam says 120 is the bottom for BA in my opinion. Hey, I love BA. It's a great company, but they kind of need to kind of tune things up over there. I think 115 is a fair price if you want to get a starter position. Eric says Disney. Yes, Disney is a wonderful company as well. We own that for the portfolio. That's DIS. And this is going to be tied to a lot of things too with Disney. So actually this is going to be a lot of fundamental analysis for Disney in the sense of it's all going to matter when the parks open up. I think if I remember right that the Disney parks and entertainment business, which kind of falls into Disney World, Disney Shanghai, Disneyland in California, all this other stuff, is basically 35% of the company's revenue. And that's been basically closed for a month and a half or something like that. That being said, with the positive news of that potentially opening up, Shanghai's been opening up and their capacity is at like 30 or 40%. They're limited to that. With the combination of being able to have people come and go and opening up Disney Springs in Orlando, Florida, slowly, I think this could easily go higher. But again, this is my bias. I'm long Disney, but it has to start proving itself to me. It hasn't broken below the 21, like this 8, which is the purple line here again, hasn't broken through the 21 and kind of crossed over it completely. The RSI has just switched, so you can see these purple dots were kind of holding it back. But then with that huge move the last 2 days, Thursday, Friday of last week, we had that wonderful switch here, and now the parabolic SARs are below it. So this could be continue kind of pushing it higher. That's for the bull case, looking for basically 112 to 113, and then anything below 105, 104 into some support levels around 100. I know those are pretty variant because, again, with the overall market, it has just been super volatile for that. Hopefully that answers your questions. Can we call that candlestick pattern the goose? I don't know how to pronounce that. Joe says, BSX, please, good sir. Okay, let's see. BS. That sounds like something I know. Boston Scientific. Okay. Ooh, what happened there? Why are they gapped down? Do they have something in the works or something? That's not good. I don't like that. Let me do a quick fib here. So that was my initial reaction to that. So there's something that broke. So it broke below. You can see here, it failed at the 618 here. 1, 2, basically 2 times here. It failed here around the 618 and the 200 exponential moving average, and now it's breaking below the 50% retracement. The parabolic SAR has switched as well. The 8 is trying to cross through the 21. We have momentum going down here and here, RSI going down. A volume oscillator here is also going down, printing negative. This is not a good sign for anything. I don't know on what happened here. It's some kind of bad news or something happened with this company. They're just showing this could be a potential short position due to the fact of what we're looking at here potentially breaking below this. So I wonder if you want to do a bull/bear case. Bull case is going to be, it kind of comes back to 36 and closes above it. Bear case is that the 8 kind of starts continue going through and it starts breaking some of the lower barriers, potentially trying to hit this gap market here, probably around 32 potentially for the first level of support there. All right, did I answer? Oh my gosh, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for everyone joining today and putting all these comments in. I am going crazy. That was for Joe Sanchez asking for a Baba. So, I don't know if you guys are in the Discord chat. I usually don't invest into any Chinese-run companies due to the fact of the way they're set up, and I feel like they're slightly not an easy edge and they're somewhat manipulated. That's just my opinion. You can take that or leave it. Alibaba, a lot of my peers like this. It has been fairly strong. It has been above the 200. So I'm not even look at this as a Chinese company. I'm just gonna give you the way I'll give you a 100% straight chart pattern looking at. It looks strong. It looks really strong. The moving averages here are starting to cross over to print higher. Potentially first targets would be around 208, then potentially hitting around 214. It looks like it has earnings this week. And what are the earnings saying for these guys? Plus or minus $13. So that's a pretty significant move. So $13 would basically put it to this level up here, which is a previous high here. If, again, with the overall market continue going higher, this momentum here needs to start kicking up. The squeeze is kind of holding it higher. The parabolic SAR is kind of helping it push higher. The volume oscillator needs to start printing higher as well into the green bars. And then also with the RSI needs to start pushing higher as well to see a significant move. For the decline or for the bear case, it would need to kind of this 8 and 5 exponential moving average will start failing and start crossing in through the 21, potentially seeing some support here initially at the 200 exponential moving average, which is around 195 there for my friend. All right, so that's Baba as just a bull and bear case for you. Wesley, what's up, my man? We have Beyond Meat, BYND. This is one I've been watching quite a bit, just to the fact of this is part of. I don't know if you guys are familiar. I have a wife portfolio, so anything my wife says, hey, I think you should look into this or invest in this. This is one that she continues to tell me about and has been telling me about. And this is in her portfolio. It's performing fairly well. I don't have it in mine or any of my retirement stuff, but it has been pretty strong here. It's kind of steadily kind of aiming out here, but it's still not below the 5 or the 8. So this momentum can kick higher. This could take a break for a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then try to push higher to 150. Or if that's the bull case, the bear case, the 5 and the 8 start failing here on the daily chart, and these start pointing to the south with the parabolic SARs catching up with the ticks, and same with the 21. It starts hitting the 21. So this has moved a lot. A lot of people have been getting out of it, selling at not all-time highs, but a lot of people have been holding it. There's been a lot of people who got into it at 150, 200 way back when of 2019 that potentially could be getting this out and so forth. I hope that answered your question, Wesley. I don't know if you're long or short. This might break down. I already did Disney, my friend. Wesley, JCPenney is bankrupt. Okay, that makes sense. I already did Disney. Apple. AAPL. They have been super strong. This is terrible. I shorted Apple for a quick swing trade, very quick swing trade. Basically, here, I shorted it this day, and then I got out the following day, maybe 2 days later, once it kind of closed above. I believe when it basically rejected the 8 exponential moving average. That being said, it has kind of been beaten up. It has got it sprained its foot, as they call it, and this whole sprint of Apple as Mr. Apple or Mrs. Apple. We're not sure. We're not going to identify it as a he or she. But the Apple has come up quite a bit, has sprinted up this really steep hill, kind of caught its breath, maybe twisted an ankle or something like that, and now it's kind of wounded. But now it's got its icy hot, it's got its ibuprofen, and it's good to go. It's taking a nice ice bath. It's healed up, potentially seeing this kind of trade sideways. But if the overall market is super strong, because Apple is a huge component with a lot of exposures to different ETFs, this could pump basically back up to 315 easily with the overall market trends. Since it's still above the 8 exponential moving average, it's still showing signs of momentum. Momentum has been coming down, but it's going to potentially hit this yellow line here on the volume oscillator here and potentially bounce higher again with the overall market. Initial support, if it continues coming down, is at 295, and then looking for it to break around 320 potentially going forth. That was Apple. Oh no, I just scrolled all the way up. LVS. I don't even know what that is. That sounds so familiar. Is that Lockheed Martin? Las Vegas Sands. Okay. So I just did a video of this as well about casinos. So Las Vegas Sands was actually one of the lists that hasn't been doing that terrible, but it has been below its 200-day moving average. That being said, it's literally trading in a range between $50 and $42 and just been bouncing back and forth. Once we get better news again with the overall market and the economy opening up again, I think this could easily break out due to people want to go out and spend money and gamble. That's basically my 2 cents on that. The fundamental understanding of Las Vegas Sands, I don't know too much about the casino business. Third Dimension says AMD. AMD, love me some AMD. Oh, AMD, it's strong. It's really strong here. I actually wanted to buy. Excuse me, taking a sip of water. Let me know what's your favorite beverage to drink while you're listening to the Dyslexic Investor, aka myself, talk about stocks. Water, soda, coffee, tea, maybe a beer. I don't know. So, looking back here at AMD, basically this has been trading in a longer term range here. Since the last year, it had a fantastic year. Basically, I think it went up 147% last year. Kind of popped off beginning of the year, and this has been kind of trading lower again to the overall pandemic. The 200-day exponential moving average came in strong, holding it, and slowly kind of made a sloppy V-shaped bottom, and now it's kind of sold off again due to earnings and some basically people being scared of the overall growth behind it. If you're long-term it, I like it continuously printing higher. Anything below like 50 for me is going to be a buy to add to my position. Potentially looking forward to break to around 58 to 60 with the overall market going higher and so forth. But this is going to be hugely tied to as well once we hear about AMD or with their earnings report on Thursday. So if NVIDIA says anything negative on Thursday, this could come down lower because it's kind of tied into a lot of the ETFs that AMD is in. So Third Division actually just asked about NVIDIA, so it's NVDI, I think, right? No. NVDA, there we go. Yeah, I think what you're talking about here, Third Division, so this is what happened. I think this was due to the China-related news, where, again, the U.S. government is saying, like, we're not going to allow Huawei, basically anything inside of government or any kind of business, basically banning it, giving it the big old blacklist, just saying you're not allowed here. And this is a huge component with NVIDIA that they're like, oh, okay, we're allowed though. So this is going to be a lot more sales potentially going to them with different chips and things like that. But this was one heck of a move for sure. Again, with earnings coming around the corner, I believe it's on Thursday after the close. This could be a significant mover. This could be a pretty big trade. They're saying plus or minus $30. $30 for a $200 or $340 stock. Basically, $30 from where we're at now is back down to $310, and that doesn't even break any of the basic momentum indicators that we have. So it's kind of, I don't know where we're going to go with this. This is really just, I can't predict that. You can't predict this anyways. Like, again, with earnings, like I say, if you watch any of my Wall Street Bets videos, people who put in 40, 50K on an earnings play, what you're just doing is just taking a coin and you're flipping it, heads or tails. Heads is bulls, tails is bear case, and you're blowing your money away. You just don't know which way it's going to go. If you want to be strategic about it, and if you're bullish or bearish, you just buy a tiny position initially before the earnings, so you can kind of get some confirmation after the earnings. You can add to it or take it off and things like that. So just be mindful and be very careful out there, my friend. Brian says APT. I have no idea what this is. Alpha Pro Tech. This looks like there's something levered to some kind of earnings or something. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like it's trying to pop off again, but there's not much data for me to go off because it looks like there's some kind of innovation stuff going on here, and it's not a. It's kind of like I'll sit on my hands and wait for something to be announced. It looks like there is something going to be announced, and a lot of people are betting it's going to go higher. That's what it looks like to me. Oil. You guys watch that Dave Chappelle sketch way back when, the Dave Chappelle show about oil when he was Black Bush? It was funny. I already did WMT, my friend. I can do that here in a second. Is it true short selling made 500 bill during crash? I'm not sure what you mean. You talking about Bill Ackman of how much money he made on short selling. Wes, oh my gosh, this chat keeps on scrolling. Yikes. Wesley says, Beyond, we kind of did that. Tesla, thanks, dude. Yeah, we can do Tesla. We'll do some Tesla. So, full disclosure, I own Tesla stock. Oh, okay. So, that being said, again, like I talked about in my previous video, there's been a lot of drama around Tesla. Yes, they are, I believe, the world-class leader within the electric car business. Even with Nikola on the movement, with their trucks and things like that. Yes, they're electric, but they also use, oh my gosh, not H2O. What do they use? Was it propane? I don't even know what they use. I sold my Nikola, my VTQ or whatever, the VTQX the other day. I'm actually all of it out now, just to tell that profit there. Maybe roll that into some Tesla shares if it goes down. That being said, you can kind of see here. I don't like to draw these, but some people like these. A wedge here. So if you're not familiar with the wedge pattern, is basically this is coming into a cross section. So within this area here, it's continued riding up here, and it's starting to shrink down, and it's kind of spooling up for a potential blast off or a breakdown. So this is going to be indicators like this. You can kind of just watch the indicators, which I liked with the parabolic SAR. So the parabolic SAR switch, and they go to the negative side, or this is printing lower. If they switch to go to the bottom half of the chart, that means it's going to give it strength to push higher. The 21 is still climbing. It's still trading in between the 5 and the 8 exponential moving average. It's looking pretty. The volume oscillator, I kind of want this to kind of get above the yellow line, potentially through the white into the first green line. Let me get a drink of water here. Boop, 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 boo. Oh, Wesley, you're short. Beyond, good luck. You're going against my wife's long stock. Oh, no worries. I did Disney. No worries, my friend. No worries. I know I'm slow here. I'm not a fast. I'm really slow here. I can give you another Disney breakdown here in a second. Yeah. Again, I understand. Like, people have things to do. I just appreciate everyone coming out and watching my content. I really do appreciate it. It's a dream to be able to share my passion of the stock market and charts and just investing and things like that. Let's see here. I'm not sure what you mean, Matt. What do you mean? Is it true? Short seller made 500 billion or during the crash. I'm not sure who that is. 500 billion? So they made $500 billion, you're saying? What do you mean didn't pay that much? Investing can pay in return as long as the initial investment is enough. Yeah, 500 billion is insane. Beer, lulz, looks like a possible cup and handle. Cup and handle, I do trade cup and handles, but those are more like the old school way of charting, from my understanding, is maybe he had inside information about the crash. Okay, we're talking about the 500 billion. That's a lot of money. Can you look at PBF Energy, please? That's from Billy. BPF. And if you guys haven't already, we have probably, I don't know what do you guys, who's in it, of basically the best. I will pull this over. There we go. The best Discord channel out there for sure, and it's completely free to join. That we have a lot of fun stuff going on there. You can ask me questions. I do my best to answer them. And also, if you want to go to the extra level and support the channel and all that I do, we have a Patreon page as well, so you can check that out. I don't know if I'm typing this. Oh, it's P. My bad. P. Oh, it just went away. PBF. Did I write that right? Okay. So again, I don't know what this energy stock does or where it's located, but it's looking somewhat negative. It's closed below the 21 here. The 5 and 8 are trying to cross through the 21. Parabolic SAR are on top. This could potentially try to print lower, but we could see some overall support around $8.26. But if the market turns and it has some positive news come forth, we're going to be looking for it trying to break out of these other little blips up here about above 10-ish, 1050. But with this really close being to the 21 and the 8 trying to cross through the 21, this could be a potential more downside, and just kind of losing some momentum here. Hopefully that helped you there, Billy. Yeah, 500 billion. This seems a little insane. I don't Ronik, can you look at Pinterest? Yeah, pins. Yes. That's actually in my wife's portfolio. Not performing the greatest though. That is basically, yeah. So the way I have it is it's just been horribly hitting a lot of bumps here at the 200 exponential moving average. Again, I don't know which way you're leaning on this one. This one is potentially trying to break out again, since it didn't have the world's greatest quarter, gapping down pretty strong, with the 8 and 5 crossing through the 21, kind of leveling off, potentially seeing a kick higher, because Tuesday or Friday, Thursday were pretty strong days for it. But if you're in a long-term position with this, and if you bought it at when the IPO came out, like I believe I'm under, my wife's ATF is under. I think we're under it. I have to look. But that being said, it's just having a lot of overhead resistance at 20 and potentially looking for some support. Let me actually pull up this chart here. Yeah, basically right around $15.50 for some support if it comes down lower. It looks like it's trying to cross back over with the MACD kind of getting back into play here. So that is my looking at pins. Hall says, what do you think about Apple? News came out about it getting sued. I think Apple gets sued 14 times a day. Like, I don't take that to much heart, honestly, with the fundamental analysis, unless they come out and say, hey, the Apple phone just killed 15 people due to the battery blowing up. Then they got a problem. You know what I'm saying? UBS or XLF. So yeah, we do look at XLF. So this has kind of been my initial research on the Warren Buffett selling all of his bank stocks. And if Yeet is here, he was going super short. I think it was him in the Discord about looking at potential short positions and how he was just basically shorting Bank of America. I think that was Yeet. Maybe. Maybe I get someone mixed up. Anywho, it's someone on the Discord, super smart guy. That being said, bank stocks. Again, this little double top here at 23.23, and now it's below the 21 exponential moving average with the 8 and 5 crossing through the 21, and it's trying to stop itself from going down. Not going to call a bottom here, but this could maybe have a little bit more of a pullback due to the comments from Warren Buffett and the overall positioning sizing of him getting out. I think that kind of needs to kind of hit the market and take like a week for it to digest, because that's what kind of happened with the airline industry when he did his Berkshire Hathaway stuff, announced it. It kind of took some folks a week or so to be like, I think he's kind of right, actually. Like, and then they start selling their positions and things like that. Blackhawk Space, Virgin Galactic. Whew, that was a rider for sure. I don't know if you guys were subscribed to the channel, but we traded that way back when at like $11 or $12 and just rode that all the way up to like $37 or $40 when we got out. That was a wonderful trade. That being said, now it's kind of been in la land due to the fact of that it loses money. It's not really sending anyone to space. It's kind of cool and things like that. It's got Richard Branson involved, basically his little toys and things like that. But that being said, it's kind of been the 200 exponential moving average is kind of coming in for initial support here. So I think if it continues to hold plus or minus $1 from the 200 exponential moving average, you're going to be okay. But my only concern is that the 8 kind of crossed into this potentially with the parabolic SAR on top now with a squeeze indication and then the volume oscillator going lower. So the volume oscillator continues going lower and starts hitting the red line here. That's going to be lower prices indication. So I'm going to be very careful with space there, my friend. Thoughts? Oh my gosh, it just scrolled up again. My bad. I gotta figure this out here. Cam says thoughts about Chinese stocks getting delisted from U.S. markets. I don't have a problem with that. Just the fact of delisted on the U.S. exchanges. I think it just has to become where it just has to come into the parties or the accounting firms need to register things properly and not just to be manipulated like we saw with Luckin Coffee. Joe says PG. Is that Procter Gamble? Yeah. I like this. It looks kind of like... it's below the 2... this is a tough one, actually. Initially, this makes sense that this would be pretty popular, fundamentally speaking, but the chart's not really looking that popular. It's looking like it's trying to make the switch here, looking for maybe a short-term bottom here at 11.11. If you wanted to trade this, it'd be a get out of Dodge. If you're long side, get out of Dodge at 11.11 if it breaks that. But it needs to break above this 221 here, which is basically at 115 to 117 to potentially print higher. Wesley says VA long number 1 and 5G company coming. Billy, I think I did PDF, right? Energy? I think I did that, right? I wasn't too sure what market they're in. I was just going to be super concerned about it kind of start crossing over. Wesley, Verizon. I thought Qualcomm was the bigger component. Maybe that's the component side of things. So again, I don't know if they cut their dividend for Verizon, but it looks like it had sold off pretty substantially. I think it was just people getting out of the potentially safe haven stocks, and that's where you start seeing people putting in money into Shopify and Amazon and things like that. But this is going to be kind of hard to kind of see where this goes in the fact of, let me pull over this here. So initial support here is not going to come in for some time. It's basically going to be looking at $52 for initial support if it continues selling off. It looks like it's trying to sell off more with the MACD continue printing lower. We have the squeeze printing lower, and then we have the stochasticer here really playing at the lower level tier. So this could potentially going lower before it can go higher. And then for the bull case, it's got to break above the 21, which is around $56, my friend. NAT, please. Yes, we can do NAT. So they have earnings tomorrow morning. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I don't know if you guys even watched the video regarding me shorting NAT the following day after I saw it hit $9. And I got a lot of flack for that because I didn't know anything about oil stocks. And I clearly said in the beginning of the video, I said in the comments, I said in the description, this is not a play on oil or anything about storage. This is a play on a FOMO trade. So FOMO trade is a fear of missing out. There's just too many people who thought that this is going to be going to the moon. They can easily triple their money in 3 days. That's a FOMO move. I saw that. I've seen this so many times, and I shorted it, and it came crashing down. My initial target was around $5. It hit that, got majority of it out, kind of start trading lower a little bit, got out the rest of it once the moving average starts coming off and it closed below the 21. That being said, completely out of it now and looking for earnings, potentially going to go lower. Again, it's a complete coin flip, as like I said, and with other various investments, you're literally just betting if it's going to go up or down. Who knows? The company can say whatever to kind of change that. There isn't going to be hard to trade. The May options have already come and gone, so it's going to be hard to see on what the move is. You can kind of, what I'm looking at here is basically if it breaks above $5.33 and closes above it, and then the 8 starts kind of curling higher, that's going to be the bull case. The bear case is going to continue printing lower, get rejected maybe at the $5 level and start printing lower. If I was a betting man, which I'm kind of working on a video, I think NAT will go lower. Again, that's just a pure, I'm flipping a coin here. I have no crystal ball. Again, I want to repeat, I have no crystal ball. This is just my opinion. I think it can go lower. I think it's still FOMO mode. Ryan says YOLO puts on SPY. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. No. I don't like YOLO trades. Be careful, Ryan. There it says Ryan. Dow futures up 200 points as of 36 minutes ago. Yeah. Oh, it runs on hydrogen. Thank you, Corey. That's what it was. I was thinking of oxygen, but that makes no sense. I trade options for UDOW. Billy, so I can't tell you which one to buy. I don't know why you want to get into the energy section as a whole. Is there a reason behind it? Is it like some crazy dividend? But I think there's just going to be other things out there for you to put your money into. I trade options for you. What's UD? Pro shares trust all. So is this one of those inverses? This is a Dow 30 ETF. Okay. I like this. Who just suggested this? Ryan. I like it. I'm actually going to add that to my triple main watch list. I've never heard of this ETF. Is it pretty liquid? I'll take a looky loo at that. Yeah, that's been beaten up for heck, yeah. It looks like it's trying to print higher here, but the volume oscillator is trying to kick higher. Squeeze indication, the momentum needs to kick higher, and then it's kind of just been spooling up basically for the last 2 weeks for a potential break up or down. With these moving averages really coming in to kind of really just have some fun here, this could potentially be a huge kick higher once this 8 kind of crosses to the 21. I did Apple already, but we can do Apple again. That's a pretty big stock there. Like we said with Apple, we shorted it the other day, got out, maybe I think it was like a day or two later, looking for again, if you look at the bull or bear case, the bull case is going to be potentially for it to continue printing higher and touching back above the 320, and then you're going to have if it's for the bear case, the initial first support is going to be around $295, basically where the 21 exponential moving average is, because the parabolic SIR did switch due to the overall downdraft that we did have, but the volume oscillator down here as well on the very bottom here did kind of potentially could bounce off the yellow line and kick higher, which could be in significant move to kind of break above the 310 level and potentially go higher. But again, Apple is so highly levered due to the overall market. If the market goes up, of course, Apple is going to be a huge component of that, and it's just going to go up higher as well. I do sound parched, don't I drink. It's hard to talk for like an hour, 90 minutes. And I always feel bad because the comments that I get about me getting smack of my lips, whatever. I don't care about comments. People can be negative. They can be mean. Don't know if anyone said it already, but what do you think about S-Fix? Is that Stitch Fix, Corey? Yeah. Wow. Holy moly guacamole. So I guess this is a play of Macy's and all the other retail stores Kohl's are not open. People got to get their fix, you know what I'm saying? Scratching their neck to break above this. This looks fantastic. Looks like it has earnings coming out pretty 2 weeks from now. Looks like their last earning was terrible. I don't know what happened there, but that was basically slightly prior to the pandemic. But now it's kind of back on track. It looks super strong here. I actually like this play. Who is this? Corey D? I like this, man. This is a really good play. I think, are you long this? This would be looking for support at this 200 exponential moving average. Potentially could be trading sideways for a little bit to kind of see what earnings happens, but it's just been popping off. Like RSI is super strong on this. This could hit the high tier level, hopefully not before earnings, to see on what could happen to that. If you're in this, good for you, my friend. This is going to be hard to kind of get into before earnings because it just has run up so much. But we'll see how it trades this week. That's actually a really good one. I'm actually going to add that to the list as well. Man, these are some great stuff here, guys. Yeah, Denzel works to be green tomorrow. Bill, you're welcome. Hopefully that made sense to you. It was Bill Ackman. He bought a bunch of puts protection. Yeah, he made. I don't know if he made 500 billion. He would be the richest man in the world. but maybe 500 million in some puts and things like that. Mookie Designs HYG. That is a wonderful suggestion, my friend. So this is one that I also been looking at. This is kind of tied with the banking section. This is the yield or the debt within corporate stuff. So I'm actually looking to build a short position in this. Full disclosure, that it's kind of fail here at the 21. If it can break above the 21, I might have to reconsider it. But potentially looking for it, maybe plus or minus $1, getting up to like $80, and then failing and potentially going lower. This is again tied to the overall people making their interest payments, their debts, and things like that with corporates. I think this could be a potential play to the lower side. Basically, if it starts breaking, it helps me to look at this chart. So this is going to be very tough to kind of put out initial price targets for the lower side of this, since it's going to be pretty. If it starts breaking below 77, 76, this would be a really strong short. It just started its first day of the squeeze. RSI has been flat, momentum slightly going down, and the volume oscillator could bounce off the L line and be rejected and continue going lower. So that being said, we'll see how that goes. Thomas A, I'm in it. We want to see who. Bullish on HD before earnings Tuesday. Yeah, HD is Home Depot, so that's going to be a pretty significant play here. Again, a lot of people talk about the gardening season, so Lowe's and Home Depot, that's like their bread and butter on people coming in to revitalize their yards, their gardens, different various outdoor activities and things like that. That's basically their go-to season. That's their holiday season, lack of better words, where they make the most money. Basically, this is trading up where its all-time highs have been. So this has been a really crazy recovery due to being one of the only huger department stores being able to be open during the time. So yeah, I think it could be a really good earnings, but again, earnings could be a complete coin flip. So we're playing plus or minus $15 from where we're currently at. So $15 would put it around basically 225. So that's going to be coming back down to the 21 exponential moving average. So bear case is going to be support around 220 to 222, and then really a lot more support coming in around 215. And upward for support is basically unknown territory, but we can kind of do this quick fib cluster here, and looking at basically initial support with the all-time high being at 247, but that could break with a really strong earnings, and then a huge price target at 276. I know that seems crazy, but that could be plus or minus $2 or $3 from there. That could be a huge mover for them as well. I haven't gotten into a lot of these individual trades like this, but that could be a really good investment. Please do pins, would be very appreciated. I think I did pins, didn't I? I'm sorry. I think I might just going too slow in the chat. I'm really sorry. Okay, here we go. Wesley, thank you for shouting out the Discord. Nice, appreciate it. Let's see here. HBAN, please. Oh, okay. HBA. Oh my gosh, thing's not typing again. HBA. I don't know what this is. No, why did it pull the wrong one? It's not pulling. I don't know if this is the ticker. BAN. Okay, there it goes. Wow, that was annoying. This looks negative if hopefully you're short this, or you're trying to play a bounce here potentially here around $7 for a bounce to try to get above to 830 or plus. This is trending lower. This is looking like it could potentially get back up to 820 for the bear case, and can get rejected at 820 and print lower. For the bull case to kind of print above the 820 and get back to 875, try to get back to $10. So that's the initial looking at that. Let's see here. Just join the Discord, Corey. Thank you, my friend. How do I join the Discord? So that could be in the description below, I believe. I know I'll put it on here in a second. You found it. Thank you, Corey, for pointing that out. Ricky, I don't know who Ricky is. Thanks, Corey. What company do you want to go public on the stock market? That's a great question. What company do I want? I want SpaceX to go public, Denzel. I want SpaceX. And look, someone just said SpaceX. That's awesome. That was funny. I did Verizon, didn't I, Wesley? What do you think about shorting W with puts, Kelly D? W is Wayfair. That's going to be a hard one, my friend. I think there was someone the other day who asked me to short this, and I said, no, it could run up a little bit. It has been switching and kind of slowing off, but it hasn't broken my 165 price target lower. I think like this could just start trading sideways once this moving average, this 21, starts catching up. If you want to short this, kind of keep it really on a short leash, because if once it gets above like 177, 176, this could get back up to some momentum and kick higher. But the short side, if it breaks 165, could go lower to like 150 potentially for the first initial support. But with the overall market trend, it can go significantly higher, back to 200 if need be. SpaceX, yes, SpaceX is for sure going to be a wonderful company. Sorry, I asked before. Can you look at SNX? Is that another energy stock, Billy? I have no idea what this is. That looks better than energy stocks. I like this a lot better. This looks better. So this is above the 21. It's 5 and 8 are nicely stacked, so it's the 5, 8, and 21. Parabolic SAR is below it. If you're long it, continue to stay long of it. If it starts breaking and closing below $85, that could be a trend change. Again, parabolic SAR is still going up. And then looking at some pretty steep overhead support at 104, but I don't see earnings on the horizon here as well. So again, this could be just in the steady eddy and continue to climb. So great pick there, Billy. Third dimension, Nat isn't interesting. It looks like it wants to sell off after earnings, but it has surprisingly holding 5 pretty well. I think it's been holding 5 just due to the fact of that earnings is coming up. So people are just kind of sitting on their hands waiting to happen. Oh, Billy, because PDF. So like I don't know if they have a good balance sheet or not like that. So that would be your analysis on that. I do fundamental analysis, but I don't dive into balance sheets analysis. More like the basics of earnings and things like that, growth. Yeet, what's up, my friend? I'm here, baby. Can you look at NVIDIA doing calls for earnings 100% winning in it? Yeah, we can do NVIDIA again for you. So as we talked about NVIDIA, it's basically implying a $30 move plus or minus from current price. So $30 from here is around 370 here, which we wanted to do like a quick little fib cluster here. Actually, I don't think we did this. Oh, so click. There we go. So initial price target could be around 350, potentially again. Doesn't mean it has to happen up to go up to $30. It has to. That's just what the market makers are giving it. So plus or minus $30, potentially price target looking at 352, and then some support at the 315 level, and then you're going to see on more of the support level around 300, and then kind of going down from there depending on what the overall earnings come out. Again, you know very well that earnings are a coin flip, so just be careful out there, and we'll just have to go from there. Jared says CSCO. CSCO. Oh, okay. Interesting. Cisco, I think they had a pretty good earnings, right? They're getting a lot of stuff out of China. So even with earnings, it came crashing down, but it still kind of is above the 21. I like this. I did have a little look ahead of 50% retracement here for some overhaul resistance, and we've seen that kind of been tapped twice. That's pretty fantastic there, right? Let me get rid of that. Looking at overhead resistance at the 200 exponential moving average, so it's going to be around $45 for overhead resistance. Again, short side is going to be support at 42. It looks like it wants to kick higher with the volume oscillator here. Momentum needs to pick up for it to kick higher, and RSI as well. Looking at this here on the weekly chart, because it had some pretty significant moves here, it's above the 21. Here on the weekly chart, if the 8 and 5 start crossing to the 21, we could see a fantastic bounce for Cisco over there, my friend. Let's see here. Thank you, my friend. Have a great weekend yourself. Can you look into ETSY in at 10? You got it in at $10? Or are you saying you want to buy it at 10? You bought it at 10. I remember shorting Etsy 5 years ago, 3 years ago. How long has this been around? I shorted it. You bought it around 10. Yeah, this has been a fantastic stock. I think I shorted it in 16 probably. But this is one that's in my wife's ETF, and this has been performing very well. Again, this is to the stay-at-home economy. People need to spend their money, and people need to take their money, and Etsy's taking your money, and so forth. That being said, it has been such a huge mover here. It's going to be basically hitting its 1618 movement up here, having a really strong quarter. This has just been going into orbit here. It's just been trading between the 5 and 8 exponential moving average, continually printing higher. Once it starts showing signs of slowing down is when it starts closing below the 5 and the 8, and looking at initial resistance at the 21. So that would be around $71 to $72 if it starts coming off this next following week. So hopefully that helped you there, my friend. Great trade on Etsy. Yeah, Etsy looks really strong. ADC, AMDocs, DocsCon. What's the ticker symbol? It's like a teledoc for doctor's offices. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Billy. I don't trade Forex. I don't. Sorry. You already have 400% of your calls. I am so happy for you. That is awesome. James, BCR. I don't even know what that is. I've never heard of that. BR. Let's see. CRX. Pharmaceutical. I don't know. This looks strong. Again, it's above the 5 and the 8. Printing higher, potentially could continue going higher, but again, initial support here at the 21, which is around $4.17. Just be very careful with these, because these can move really fast, my friend. Yes, SPY can easily go 290 plus this week. I think so. Hormel, is that Corey? Is that HRL? Is that Hormel? The spam company? Not spam like your email, spam like the food. Yeah, I like this as well. Like, again, it's hard to tell you what to do with earnings the following week because a lot of people could just be sitting on their hands and waiting to see how earnings come out, and then it can have a pretty significant move. Earnings is only going to say $3 plus or minus. So $3 here, it's going to be basically getting up to 50, which is its initial high here, and then $3 lower is basically here. This is going to be probably a good trade for like an iron condor potentially, unless people are just stockpiling this more for some reason. So we'll see what happens. Aaron says SRNE. I don't know what that is. SRNE. Okay, they came out with something, didn't they? That looks like a FOMO play right there. Have I ever seen it? They must have came out something I just don't know. I don't follow pharmaceutical companies like I used to, where I would used to read like documents on the weekends and things like that to figure out what could be the next popper. And I just didn't have that much fun doing that. That being said, I have no idea what they did. This looks strong. I just would be very careful if you're in this. Get out, sell some, take some earnings, take some profit off the table. Flacco says CGC. Is that a pot stock? Is that Canopy? Yeah. All right. So this one, guys, this is when everyone has their section of the market that they don't like, and I don't like pot stocks because I've lost money in them, and it's just a personal thing. That being said, it is trying to break higher. It is trying to show some growth, but I want to take a sip of water. But that being said, it looking like it's having some little bit short momentum here. The momentum needs to kick higher. RSI is trying volume oscillator as well, with the overall market kicking through. I don't know the industry that very well, so on the chart pattern, it just, for me, this would be more of an investment idea, I guess, if you're just thinking that pot is going to be everywhere in the next year or so. It's still below its 200-day moving average, so it's going to be very hard to kind of look at that as an industry. If you're looking for a trade, it could be if it pops off tomorrow or this week, to look to hit maybe around the $17, $18 level. But if it closes below 15, it could be going back into negative retreat mode. Cam Hinckley, do you have any Walmart plays this week for earnings? I do. Walmart plays for me are going to be basically selling pretty close puts. I'm selling puts in Walmart that I do basically around the 120 level. I think I did when it got pretty low last week, and then it's too late for me to add some calls. I did have an in the money call that I believe I got out of, or I'm holding one or two more with a huge pop up the next day. On last Friday. But with earnings, it's going to be a coin flip. I think it's going to be good. That's just my initial thought. But again, I don't have a crystal ball, so it can be a complete coin flip. But the chart pattern right now is wanting to kick higher. Paul says it's AMDOCS. So it's AMDOCS. Oh, it's DOX. Okay. DOX. Okay. DOX. Okay. This doesn't look great. It looks like earnings was kind of flat. It's the 8 trying to cross through the 21. Potentially, if this continues, the 8s are going through the 21. We could be seeing some lower prices. And due to that, if it breaks below this 56 level here, or sorry, 58.70 level. Basically, if it can't hold this, it's going to be basically looking for the 56.50 level and then potentially hitting no man's land down here. That's for the bear case. The bull case is it breaks above the 21, which would be around $61 again. So I don't know if you're investing in this and things like that, but be very careful with this one, my friend. Augustana ATO, bro. I'm up 1K. Nice. ATO. It's are you shorted? Looks like you're shorted, right? I hope that you're shorted. It looks like it's trying to switch with this long candle here, and it's green, but it hasn't shown it completely yet because it's still below the 5 and the 8 and the 21. Looking at momentum kind of leveling off, the volumes kicking in. It looks like something happened that day. There's a lot of volume came in that Friday for some reason. So this could be people buying it, executives being able to buy it, and so forth, because it's after earnings. Maybe people are buying it for the dividend, maybe. I don't know. But this looks like a potential. It could be leveling off here. Let me look here at this chart for you. It's not really telling me much here. Let me break it down to the 4-hour really fast. Yeah, it's been staircasing lower. Just be very careful out there. Could be a potential people getting back into short. But there's a lot of volume coming in here. I don't know if people are just getting out or buying in. This is very strange looking activity there for me. I got about 2 more, my friends. It's very late here. I actually have to go into work the following day. You and your crazy calls, my friend. I wish you the best. MGM, we can do MGM, KO. No worries about the misspelling, man. I misspell things all the time. Don't worry. Long call on ATO. I think that might be a good. Yeah. So you're the one. It looks like I said, there's just so much volume coming in there, and that's a huge indicator for a potential switch. With the downtrend. The downtrend hasn't happened yet, or the switch hasn't happened yet, but this is going to be a huge stopper. Basically just putting a stop sign out saying, hey, slow down. What are you doing? I do share I don't share my full chart layout because I still haven't got back to the guys who created these little tabs or flags up here for me. I don't know if they're still even in business. But these are customly made. So, and I paid for those, and I paid for this stuff here as well. I just don't know what the restrictions are if I'm able to share that, because I paid for it. It's their property in the sense that I'm just using it. Let's see here. Let's do MGM. So I actually got out of MGM. We traded that, basically this low around $7, brought it back up 16, and we just got out. MGM is just going to be overall tied to the overall market, and if the casinos are able to open back up, how that's going to look like. So I kind of did a video about this. A lot of the casino stocks, if you look back at, basically it was yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that I did a video about what people reality expectations are when things start opening up. So we'll see. Wesley TDG, what is that? Sounds very familiar. Is that like Dollar General? I don't know what TG is. I have no idea what this is. This looks like it's pretty tightly wound here. This is a crazy stock. I don't know what this is. But that being said, it's been a very tight pattern here. Don't know if this is being acquired or something. This seems really strange to me. The last 2 or 3 weeks it's been really tightly wound. It's looking like it's trying to break out or go higher. The parabolic SAR is still showing support for it to try to go higher, but momentum is coming off. Volume oscillator is coming off. The volume overall is coming lower, so it's going to be a hard one to predict here and look at this. We'll see. Let's see here. Beyond Meat, we did Beyond Meat, so Beyond Meat is going to be looking like it'd be trading sideways for a little bit, potentially coming off a little bit due to everything else. Billy XON. If I missed anyone, I really do apologize. I'm not the world's fastest reader, and the chat keeps on going up. I need to figure out how to give people... maybe it's through Super Chat? I don't even know what the hell that is. XON. Oh, oil. Billy, what are you doing oil here, man? So that being said, it's the 8 crossing into the 21, and momentum's going down. Volume oscillator is looking negative. It's very strange looking at the chart here and understanding the fundamentals about things. We'll see how this performs out. Initial, if you're long it, be very careful looking at a bottom here, basically around $40 potentially, and then for the bull case, we need to break above the 21, which is basically around 43.60, and close higher. But it's just been solely tightly wound due to everyone just basically sitting on their hands waiting to see what happens. So that's Billy. Okay. Oh, what's it? They're military aerospace. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh, you like this up here? Oh, the arrows? Oh, that's completely free. Like, I can share. So how you do that is you just hit the little grid pattern here, and then you just write down how many charts you want on the grid, like this, and then it looks crazy, right? And then it pops up these guys, and then you just hit on max sell on each, and then you can just kind of flip through them like this. Hope that answered your question. That was a little crazy right there. So let me actually put it back to, I have a lot of current. Boop. All right. I was looking at FireEye. So let's see, last one, CVE. What is that? Another energy, eh? Interesting. It's not my favorite price stock. It's below $5. That being said, it's above the 21. If you're long it, continue watching on the daily chart. If it continues riding the 21, it's still trying to push higher. The parabolic SAR has switched 2 or 3 days ago to try to see some overhead resistance, basically around $4. If it breaks above that $4, it could be a popping off. But going below the 21. Potentially seeing some support around $3 potentially, or $2.96, basically with the 34 exponential moving average coming in, crossing through the 50-day here on the simple moving average. We could be seeing some potential pop here for you there, my friend. You're very welcome. Again, guys, if you guys haven't already, in the description below, we have our wonderful, awesome Discord chat. And if you want to join that, that's completely free. We have quite a few folks in there. We have, I don't know, a little over 100 there. And we just talk about stocks, talk about about things like that. And if you are interested to help support the channel and look at getting some extra information, we actually have a Patreon page as well, where you get some awesome charts, some watch list. I'll share some ideas in the morning and the afternoon, some interesting things, kind of share some exclusive stuff in the sense of things that I'm thinking about, more or less just to kind of help support the channel. I really do appreciate everyone coming out and watching, guys. You guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of the evening, a wonderful week. If you have any questions, just go ahead and join the Discord, and I'll try to get back to you as quick as possible. And we'll just have some wonderful fun this week. More videos will be coming out this week. If you have any suggestions, again, you can just pop in the Discord or put it in the comment sections on the videos. for some different analysis on different stocks. And if you do, again, appreciate these videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch everyone on the flip side. Peace.